Yes, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the very first Australian Open preview, the very first tennis show on the channel. Um, we're gonna be diving deep into pause. We're gonna be we're going to be going into detail about the Australian Open. That's right around the corner. It's actually starting tonight. It's actually starting tonight.
3 hours.
So in about 3 hours, yeah. So big up people for joining the NFL show, and big up Ralph as always. He's joined the show for the first time. He's joined the channel for the very first time. And you'll see more of him definitely 100%. Augustia back again. Tennis show first on the channel. We did NFL first time today. Now we're doing tennis first time today. Man, your studio was busy today, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I think yours was busier, man. I mean, the fact is, Kevin, this is the sixth sport I think you've covered on AN Sports. So
Fifth.
to all the people
Fifth sport.
dude, the fact that we're past one hand is crazy. Like that's just crazy. So everyone, like I said this at the end of the NFL stream when I made my guest cameo. AN Sports is one of the only places not backed by big money, not backed by sponsors. We can say whatever we want, whenever we want, however we want. This is authentic analysis and unfiltered content. So please make sure drop a subscription. We want to get AN Sports to 200 subscribers and so forth. So Ekavin, it's
100.
nice to be. This is my first show on this channel this year. I just checked, and yeah, look, it's been couple weeks of mayhem and chaos for me, but I'm finally back. I'm in the swing of things. Hopefully you, me, King, Raf, and the others, potentially people like Josh and Cam, we can do shows together. And on
100%.
your opening statement, Ekavin, about diving deep, I think that's the second most out-of-pocket moment in the show's history. I think I take the award for the most out-of-pocket one. So I'm not going to remind the people if they weren't there of what I said one time, but it was a bit crazy.
No, facts.
I think you know what
yeah. What a way to start the show.
I guess let's go head first deep into things.
But yeah, let's get started. Obviously, we're gonna start the show by, obviously once again, every show I'm gonna, start off by saying hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to all the victims of the Los Angeles wildfire and all the people that have evacuated, and the families are in hopefully in good shape. Hopefully everyone is safe. Hopefully you guys listen to your government about the protocols. Hopefully you guys listen to your firefighters and Los Angeles Fire Department. We are all rooting for you. We're all behind you. Please make sure that all your residents, all your Los Angeles residents are safe. Everyone around Los Angeles area, stay safe. Obviously, my brother's in Los Angeles, so hopefully he's fine as well. And everyone else, hopefully you guys are safe as well. Make sure you guys, take care of yourselves and evacuate when possible. And obviously, my heart's thoughts and prayers, and obviously Augustius as well, will go out to anyone that's affected by the fires. And let's get the show started, man. Australian Open preview predictions. Let's get it underway. Let's actually talk about, Daniel Medvedev versus our fellow countryman, the Thai guy. Let's talk about it because big up whoever he is, yeah. But a Thai person competing in the Australian Open, a singles match, yeah, to start the opening round is massive. So round of applause to him. Definitely. We're rooting for you, we're behind you, our fellow countrymen. So yeah, definitely rooting for you, and hopefully you get the win. If it's possible, get the win, man. Get the win. Go and fight, man. Go and battle to the very, very end. But I want to start by talking about, the current winner, Jannik Sinner. That was his first. Was his first Grand Slam? Was it last year? Was his first Grand Slam that he won at the Australian Open, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Talk me through Jannik Sinner's 2024 and what he brings to this Australian Open.
Jannik Sinner heads into the Australian Open as the current defending Aussie Open title winner. Obviously, Ekevin, agonizingly for you, he beat your favorite tennis player, the greatest of all time, undoubtedly Novak Djokovic, the first man to do so in straight sets in the semifinals, en route to win the
It
whole
was
thing.
it was 3. It was in 5. Sorry, it was in 4 sets, not straight.
Right, I'm sorry, but the way he manhandled Djokovic in the 3 sets that he won was certainly unprecedented and unparalleled. So we give Sinner the kudos that he deserves. Yes, Sinner at the moment is the best player in the world, particularly on the hard courts. He won both hard slams last year, being the AO in the US Open. So clearly, regardless of court speed and ELO, Sinner is the best of the best at the hards. And he also capped off his season winning the ATP finals in November. So Sinner is world number 1 for good reason, and nobody is close to him at the moment. He only lost, if I'm not mistaken, was it 5 matches last year? So it was truly a remarkable record from Jannik Sinner. Look, he is undoubtedly the favorite. And when you look at the draw of his biggest challengers, like Novak Djokovic, who I just mentioned, the man vowing to win 25 Grand Slams, which is just beyond extraordinary. Never did anybody ever think any male athlete could get to 20 slams, let alone 25, and in the toughest era ever. But Djokovic's draw, and even Alcaraz's draw, comparatively is harder than Sinner. So at the moment, Ekevin, if I had to pick who the favorite is, it would be the man in the richest vein of form, the man who is the best at hard courts, the man who is the fittest, the freshest, and also the world number 1. So Sinner, easiest draw, and richest man out there in terms of form. So I don't know about you, Ekevin, but Jannik Sinner is my favorite.
We'll get into that, but let's talk about the draws, because the draws are interesting. Read me, let's bring it up. Actually, Jannik Sinner's possible draw. Let's bring it up.
Mm-hmm. So in the first round, Jannik Sinner faces Nicolas Jarry. Nicolas Jarry, who is Chilean, and he's renowned for being a clay courter. So hards is really not his go-to surface. You would expect Sinner to comfortably win, perhaps.
Yeah, I would, yeah.
But looking at the rest of the draw, Ekevin, do you have it pulled up? Because I'm doing the same at the moment.
Nah, I have it open right now, actually. Hold on.
But I do know as a fact that he will not face Carlos Alcaraz or Novak Djokovic or Alexander Zverev headed into the finals, which means he doesn't really face the top 3 opponents.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sinner's basically, if we look at Sinner's draw, this Australian Open, his toughest opponent would be Daniil Medvedev. And
Daniil Medvedev is a very, very strong opponent.
Absolutely, but when you consider Sinner again recently getting the better of him, far better confidence, capability, form, and also the fact that Sinner doesn't have to face anyone like Djokovic, Alcaraz, or Zverev up until the final, to me it seems like he's a shoo-in to make the final at the very least.
Yeah. So it's for him, yeah. For him, he's got. Let me just bring it up, actually. And we also have to give a special mention to Nick Kyrgios, his return to the Australian Open, and he and Djokovic had a a little partnership in the Brisbane competition, and it was good laughter, it was good jokes. We actually watched some of the highlights. It was actually good fun. So yeah, these two all of a sudden found some respect for each other, and now they became friends. You know, because before there was a lot of beef between the two, and now all of a sudden they just become like friends, and yeah, they're rooting for each other. And Djokovic with Andy Murray as well as his head coach. Let's not forget, Andy Murray is now his head coach going to the Australian Open. So I'm hoping that it'll be a good, successful Australian Open for Djokovic. But listen, at the end of the day, my guy's won enough Australian Opens already. If he doesn't win this one, so be it. I just don't want him to get to the final and lose, because let's not forget, he has the Australian Open record and has never lost in a final. So preferably, I hope he does not. I hope he doesn't make the final and lose. If he makes the final, go and smash it. But I do not want him to lose the final. So let's see. But let's see. In terms of obviously tennis as this year, because last year Djokovic won his first ever Olympics, and and he's made sure that he's won something that not even Federer, not throwing shade at Federer, but he's done something that Federer hasn't, and Nadal as well. Obviously, I think Nadal won it, but I don't remember. Actually, I think Federer won it, but he won it in a doubles match, didn't he? He didn't win it in the singles match.
Yes.
So I mean, it's still gold, but what I'm trying to say is like singles gold, and Djokovic won it on clay court as well. So that just makes it even better for me. The fact that he won it on clay court just makes it like that for me is just that for me just seals like the greatest of all time for me, personally. However, going into this Australian Open, Djokovic has picked up a few injuries along the way. Obviously, with the U.S. Open, I think he won in the U.S. Open. I think, and actually, he didn't win, but I remember he won in the French Open, and he had to drop out last year because of an injury. And then the U.S. Open, I think it was one of the games where he just completely collapsed and lost in like round 3 or round 4. I can't remember what it was, but he lost. And Djokovic, just for me, going into the Australian Open, he's on the best of form. However, we've seen it before that Djokovic can go into the Australian Open, can go into any tournament with not being on good form, and still manage to pick up wins, and still manage to get to the final and still win. So hopefully this could be Djokovic this year. Let's bring up Djokovic this year, because obviously we have to start off with the GOAT, don't we? We have to start off with we have to bring up the GOAT. Obviously, his run to the final is hard. I'm seeing Alcaraz and I think Casper Ruud and Zverev in his way. Obviously, the first few rounds will be a bit easier. He's playing Indian American in his first round, so big up to him, big up to Djokovic, big up to and Indian American person is 19 years old as well. 19 years old, competing in the Australian Open at this age is something new. Ooh, I can hear myself. I think. All right, no, it's all good. Yeah. So I'm hearing that he's 19 years old and he's competing in the Australian Open, which is mad. But what are your thoughts on Novak's draw? Because obviously I think you've seen it, or I sent a tweet to you. What's your take on Novak Djokovic's run, and where is his biggest hurdle?
He has, in my opinion, and you can clip this right now if you want to, I think this is the toughest draw Novak has had, at least for the better part of a decade. I've never seen Djokovic have a draw this hard. The fact is, in his last 3 matches, he's going to have to face, if things pan out accordingly, ceteris paribus, as it's supposed to be, Alcaraz, Zverev, and Sinner. Dude, if he can win his 25th record-extending major, at how old is he, Ekman? I think 37 now?
37, 38, I think.
At that age, against this caliber of opponent, undoubtedly his toughest caliber of opponents he's faced in a long, long while, I think since maybe 2018, 2017.
Yep.
Dude, this would be one of his greatest Grand Slams ever. Especially off the back of a year, which, yes, Ekman, as you mentioned, he did win the Olympics. He did finally complete his career, win the only title, including him from his illustrious and indisputable set of accomplishments. But he didn't win a slam last year. He didn't. So to do that off the back of the year that he had would
People don't want to call the Olympics as a slam, but it is a slam.
No, I don't think it's a slam. I think for Djokovic, it was bigger than a slam because he is one of the most
gold medal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's one of the most patriotic and principled people ever. So for Djokovic to fulfill his dream, something that many people like myself wrote off back in 2020 after he lost to Zverev in the semifinals of the Olympics. I mean, it was obviously Djokovic will be happy with this year. I mean,
I remember that day. I was really upset.
Yeah, because he was the man in form. He was the best player in the world.
He was on course to win that. He was on course to win the Olympics by a long distance as well. Yeah, because he was just about to win it. He had just broken Zverev, and then Zverev broke back, and then that was when he lost the game. So go on, bro.
And you were 100% right. That was the year where Roger wasn't playing, and Rafa also skipped the Olympics. And
I think Rafa played, but he just did, I think he just lost early. I think.
Or whatever it is. So they both were absent towards the latter stage of that tournament. everything was set for Djokovic to win. And just as it was in Rio in 2016 when he lost to Del Potro and the pressure cracked and he caved into the pressure, I think, he didn't defeat those demons in 2016 or 2020, but in the most recent Paris Olympics, push come to shove, when the pressure was against him, he didn't fold on the pressure. He folded the pressure. So, look, Djokovic
Right.
heading into Slam, coming back to the Australian Open, I think, yeah, for sure. For me, I would still put him as the favorite in his half of the draw. That might be controversial because Carlos Alcaraz is much younger than him, much fitter than him, much fresher than him, and in better form than him, and is a higher seed than him. However, um, one of the reasons Djokovic has been able to be so successful at the Australian Open, winning it for a record 10 times. I don't even know who's won the second most Aussie Opens, Ekavin, but I can tell you as a fact, take half of Djokovic's titles away, he is still the GOAT of the Aussie Open. Thank you so much, Cam, for joining the chat. Hey, by the way, Cam, I know this is public, but check your messages. I've sent you a link to the stream, so feel free to hop on if you would like to.
Yeah.
Anyways, going back to the point about Djokovic here. Look, one of the reasons Djokovic has been so successful at the Australian Open is because it's at the beginning of the season. And throughout his career, what separates him from everybody else, especially Roger and Rafa, is his conditioning. Djokovic knows how to manage his preseason accordingly. His
Yeah.
stamina is better than anybody else's. That's why at the beginning, when everyone like Alcaraz last season, for example, struggling with, fatigue or injuries or illnesses, Djokovic is tip top in the best form of his life. So I think that for that reason, I would make Djokovic favorite. And as you mentioned earlier on in the stream, Ekabin, Andy Murray, the Andy Murray
The
factor.
Andy Murray factor. Yep.
We will see how that dynamic, transpires throughout the entirety of the tournament. But knowing Djokovic, he has nothing to lose. So
And now he's gained more fans along the years as well, because a lot of fans used to hate the guy back in the day. They used to hate Novak Djokovic. They still do, but over the years, he's actually started to pick up a lot. He's starting to grow a fan base that you've never seen before with Novak Djokovic, because
Yes.
you always seen Nadal, Federer have the bigger fan base, right? But now Novak Djokovic's fan base is picking up, because you know what it is. I think that the generation today, no one really fancies the generation of tennis today compared to what they did back in the day. So I think they're starting to, Djokovic is the only piece left of the olden days. So maybe they're starting to, they're starting to cherish him a bit more. They're starting to appreciate him a bit more, because let's be real, he's a changed man. He's not the same player as he was anymore. His attitude he's improved. He's a much better person than what he was, And whatever you hear on social media now is all rumors. Like, because Djokovic is one of the nicest people you'll see on court. Like with fans, obviously, when you disrespect him, he'll feel disrespected, obviously, and he'll respond back. But when you have a good interaction with him, he's a very nice person. From what I've seen, because obviously he's my favorite player, so I'm gonna defend him. So yeah, but continue what you're saying, bro. Sorry.
No. I 100% completely agree with everything you just stated there. I'll just add, I think one of the reasons Djokovic is becoming so liked today is because of ability and authenticity. Ability, one, do I need to tell you why? Ekavin, his ability is better than everybody else. But secondly, modern day players like Sinner or even Alcaraz to an extent, as much as they are likable, they aren't really authentic. They aren't really unfiltered. And again, that's not any criticism against them personally. It's also just how the professional system and setup is operated, PR, propaganda, and also there is a certain status quo that you have to oblige to and subscribe to if you are a professional athlete. Otherwise, you won't get as many sponsors or subscriptions. So Djokovic, on the other hand, we've seen he's taken some very controversial stands, but he has stood on principle over profit. And that's why a lot of people nowadays are really appreciative of what Novak Djokovic has done. You even look at what he's done with the PTPA, for example. He basically branched out away from the ATP Tour, said tennis is a really elitist sport, and players who are at the lower end of the tour, let's say top 500, 1,000, etc., and even lower, low-income community players, they don't have much of an opportunity. They're not as subsidized and they're not as promoted, and also we don't pay them enough. So Djokovic is really becoming a player's player. So kudos to Djokovic. I agree with you, Ekavin. And yeah, of course, he has had some pretty preposterous and petulant moments on the court, no doubt about that. But The biggest reason he has changed, in my opinion, and I'm not sure what it is, whether you agree with me or not, Ekman here, I think it stems down to one reason. Sure, you can say faith, but Djokovic's faith has been resolute throughout the entirety of his career. It's more family. I think since Djokovic has become a dad, he has really taken on the role of father, not just within his family, but also in the tennis family that he serves. So no pun intended there, by the way. So yeah, I think, look, Djokovic, for me, I would love it personally. I can just, no, I was going to show you my wall right now. I have a poster of Roger Federer. I'm a
No,
massive.
go on. Sure.
My computer's on charge, so I can't move the computer. But Ekman, as you know, for those who are watching for the first time, I am a massive fan of Roger Federer. He's one of, if not my favorite athlete ever. But to me personally, despite the rivalry, I would truly love it if Djokovic won the AO this year. And I think he does have a very good chance of doing it. I think this is his best last chance of winning a Grand Slam.
I hear it. I think Wimbledon, he's got a good chance of Wimbledon as well, in my opinion, because I think Wimbledon is his court. I know he's lost to Alcaraz in the 2 years, but when Djokovic wants it, he will really, really want it. Like his body language will say otherwise. I think the last 2 years showed what he really turned up, how he really turned up, and what he was really like in those two tournaments. However, in the next few tournaments, I expect Djokovic to turn up like a proper properly. I expect him to turn up properly. Obviously, you got the French Open as well coming up, so you never know with that. You never know who could win that one. Obviously, you got the Wimbledon and US Open, and then we'll see how he pans out for the year. And then you got the ATP Finals. So yeah, 100%. I hear that. But first, we'll talk about Australian Open. The Australian Open is where I think Djokovic it's his tournament. Like we all can talk about, his he lost last year. I think Djokovic was injured last year, and this is not me making excuses. I think Djokovic was unfit last year. I think Djokovic personally was unfit throughout a lot of last year. I think momentum kind of got him over the line in the Olympics because I think he wanted that more because it's a once in a while tournament. It's not like it's a tournament that happens like every year. So I think Djokovic wanted that more. Djokovic might have turned his complete focus on the Olympics last year. This year, I think he's gonna go for more. He's gonna gun for more. He's gonna go for more. He's gonna try and go into every tournament with the purpose of this is my last. This might be my last. I'm gonna give it all. So hopefully, you never know with it this year. This year could be his year. And I don't think Djokovic has ever done 4 slams in a year. And he's nearly done it a few times. He's made a final 4 times in a year, but he unfortunately lost every final. So, yeah, Wimbledon, Olympics, everything, I'm with Djokovic every step of the way. I'm with him. He's my favorite player. I have been for 12 years now, and continue. And he always will be. He always will be. He always will be my favorite player, and I will never ever back down. I'll never back down. He's for me personally probably the greatest tennis player I've ever seen in my life, and it's been a privilege watching Djokovic. It's been a massive privilege watching Djokovic, and honestly, just I hope it continues. But if you were to say I'm retiring soon, I'd kind of understand it because he's been going through a lot in the last 2 years. Obviously, with the injury last year, his fitness issues will kick in. Unfortunately, I have to say it, and I don't want it to happen because I want him to continue playing tennis for a while. However, with Djokovic's age and everything, I hope age is really just a number, but at the same time, he's going to continue playing like it's his last tournament ever. And I hope this year he shows that that it might be his last, and he goes out there and just completely battles without giving up. Because last year we've seen that Djokovic did not turn up last year with the injuries and the fitness that he had, but this year is completely different. Completely different this year, and I'm hoping that he turns up. I hope he goes on and wins, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, man. But I'll continue what you're saying, bro, and continue from what I said.
I 100% agree. And I think everything you said about Djokovic and the tribute that you just gave him was very heartwarming, heartfelt. And yeah, he is for sure. He is the greatest tennis player of all time. I've said this on this channel before. the fact that he has the most ATP World Number One finishes, the most Grand Slams, the most slams on hard court, the most times as World Number One, the most ATP Finals. What record does he not have? Also, he's the only man to win every single major title in tennis history. Nobody's won every Masters. Djokovic has done it not once but twice. Nobody has won every slam twice. Djokovic has done it not once, but I think twice, and perhaps and most slams he's won it even double digits as well. So 10 times the AO, 4 times the US Open, I think it is. And obviously, was it 7-8 with Wimbledon and 2-3 with the French? So Djokovic is clearly a revolutionary. He is one of one in his sport. And the fact that he came into the sport at a time when he had Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal, the duopoly, the love affair, as I call it, the media reveling in it, the fans reveling in it, the sponsorships reveling in it. Nobody ever wanted anybody to break up that duopoly. And by the way, you can make the case that Rafa and Roger at their peak are 1 and 2 in their prime, take away Djokovic. But Djokovic didn't care. He didn't care that he was the bad guy. He didn't care that he was the villain. The fact is, Djokovic did what most pro athletes are unable to do. You soak up the pressure and use it as fuel to the fire. Djokovic said he reveled in it. He loved it when the audience despised him, vilified him, made him the villain. That's why he succeeded. That's why I don't want to mention this. I'm not gonna, because Kevin, you're gonna show me a picture that's gonna put me back into therapy.
I'm not doing that anymore.
2019 Wimbledon final. Kevin, do you know what picture I'm talking about?
Yeah, this one, right?
Yeah, exactly. When Federer had 40-15, 2 match points.
I thought it was over as well at the time.
Should have been. I mean, Federer is the most talented player ever.
Djokovic is just this. It's mentality. That's what something that most athletes, compared to Djokovic, I think they have, but his elite mindset is elite mentality is just something else. Like mentality is elite is something else, bro. Like he sticks to his principles. He doesn't back down for what he wants to achieve, what his goals. He doesn't back down. He just keeps on going. And one thing about Djokovic, what I really like about him, is it might be a crazy take for some people, but he's plant-based, like me.
Very precise.
I'm plant-based as well, because obviously religious purposes, but and obviously Djokovic is himself. He sticks to his principles. That's why he's successful. He sets out a goal and goes and achieves it. He keeps his promises to himself. He goes out and wins what he wants. He goes out. He guns whatever he wants to gun for. He goes for it. Like he wanted to win the Olympics so bad. He got that Olympic style. All that Olympic style that everyone was saying that, oh, but you can't be better than Nadal. You can't be the GOAT if you don't have an Olympics medal. He's got the Olympics medal. He's got double digits Grand Slams in a place where you know that he has the most Grand Slam titles of all time, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, among male, yeah. And in the open era, absolutely.
He's almost equal to Roger at Wimbledon. Mm-hmm. Almost equal to Roger at US Open. He's got more than Roger Federer at the clay, but we can't. Clay court is Nadal. Like, let's just leave it in Nadal for that clay court. But Djokovic has achieved pretty much everything in tennis. He's won every single trophy that's possible in tennis.
Every major trophy.
Everything. He's pretty much won everything in tennis. Monte Carlo, you name it. ATP finals. The guy has the most ATP finals in history. So, what more does he have to prove?
Nothing.
What more does he really have to prove? Maybe equal Roger Federer in Wimbledon and US Open. That's all he really has to do. And I think there's one more achievement that I forgot about. Getting to a certain amount, not a certain amount of Grand Slam, but I don't remember what it was. It was some other achievement that I completely forgot about. It was the.
I know this is not what you're thinking of, Ekavin, but it's what you said at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah.
It's career slam. Not the career slam, sorry, the calendar slam. If he
not the
wins
calendar slam, not that one.
4 slams this year, he would be
the
GOAT, which he should be already, by the way.
It's not that one. It's what do you call how do you say it? It's the ATP, not ATP final. Sorry. I forgot what it was. I forgot it was.
I think he literally has nothing left to achieve.
Nothing really, but except equal Roger Federer. That's all he has to do.
And he was asked in an interview, by the way. He just did an interview a few hours ago with GQ. What are your goals for the rest of your career? He said he had nothing to add when it came to tennis. Imagine being so good at a sport that you play that you've won everything, and no matter what you're going to win continuing in your career, it's not going to make you any better. Like the fact that Djokovic can win every trophy for the rest of his life and it won't elevate him anymore.
I know now. It's a certain amount of wins in a like a certain amount of tennis match wins or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I forgot what figure it was, but it was something to do with wins.
But he doesn't need that.
He doesn't really have to prove. You don't have to prove much, but yeah, like I said, just one more Wimbledon and one more US Open is all I asked for. I don't need anything. I don't need anything more, bro. Just one more Wimbledon and one more US Open. That's all I asked for. He could retire with equal Roger Federer. He could retire. He and Nadal, the only two players to have won double-digit Grand Slams at their places, I think. So that's something that he's done. But he wants. But how many Grand Slams has Nadal won on French court on French Open court? How many has he won? Like so what? 13?
14 titles at Roland Garros, and he has a record 112 to 4.
He's probably not going to win.
No.
And he's unbeaten. He's unbeaten in finals as well.
Yeah, at the Australian Open.
Crazy. No, Nadal. Unbeaten in finals as well.
Yeah,
which is mad. Like some of the records that tennis players have set will probably never be beaten again.
These three
are just formidable. The formidable three.
Yeah.
Like the greatest trio tennis has ever seen.
I mean,
obviously special mention to Pete Sampras, special mention to John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg. What's the other one's name? The one that coached Djokovic. What's his name again?
Boris Becker.
Thank you. Yeah, Serena Williams, all these tennis players, credit to all of them, but these three are just something else. On a level where I think no one will ever probably see again. On a level where I think no one will ever reach again. Yeah, continue. Sorry, what were you going to say, bro? Continue.
Very, very briefly, because I know we have to get back to the draw, but I want to add everything. We are so lucky. We lived in the greatest era of all time. And now I think we can comfortably say it. You look at the generations after Messi, Ronaldo, Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, they haven't even matched 1% as good as those greats have been. So we really lived in the greatest era.
Sorry to correct you, it's Ronaldo and Messi.
That's for another stream. But you know what? I would tell you that debate would last 1 minute between you and me. So it's not going to last too long, Ekevin. But no, I mean, yeah, we lived in the greatest era of all time. And we'll enjoy every moment that we still can, because the fact that they're still around is crazy for most of them. And yeah, I mean, you're right. Djokovic is just one of one. And you made the point here that I agree. And I've been saying for the longest time, mental strength is the most important attribute of any athlete in any sport. 100%. If you don't believe you can win, if you don't believe you are the best, if you don't believe you are capable, you're not going to win. It doesn't matter how good you are. You can be the most gifted person technically, but you won't ever make it to the top. The mind is
Cristiano
the majority.
Ronaldo himself. Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo himself said, "You need to think that you are the best at everything."
Yes. Exactly, and if you don't,
mindset.
You won't win. And people can say it's arrogant, but keep it to yourself internally. But when you're good enough externally, like Djokovic calls himself the greatest of all time now. He can do it because he has a claim, or he is the greatest of all time. So, yeah, I mean, your mind is your biggest threat or tool. I said this about McLaren in Formula One. We talk about McLaren, Ferrari. I say it again. You can have the best machinery and the ability, but if you don't have the best mental strength, you're not going to win. And that's what separates greats from goats. So, yeah, look, it comes to Djokovic. I would put him as second favorite. I would actually put him above Carlos Alcaraz. But we will see. I mean, I'm hoping it'll be a Djokovic-Sinner final, maybe. It would be nice to get a rematch.
And Djokovic wins. Would love that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And we'll move on to obviously, I'd have to get that Djokovic segment out of the way because that's for me. He's my favorite tennis player, and I hold him really close to my heart. And he's one of my idols. Obviously, after Ronaldo, Djokovic is just right up there. So I really appreciate them two so much. But Djokovic is also one of a kind, and I'm so thankful I've got to watch Djokovic all these years. And yeah, we'll move on to Carlos Alcaraz, and then we'll wrap up with Daniel Medvedev. I think we'll talk about these big four. I think if you had to include the four players that probably have the favorites are Medvedev, Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic. I think these are the four favorites to win the tournament for me.
Maybe Zverev as well.
Maybe, but Zverev can be mentioned on another show.
Let's not forget Zverev is the number 2 seed. He's ahead of Alcaraz in the draw.
Oh, he is. Okay, fair enough.
And Djokovic as well, let me add.
So we'll just quickly go over the draw for each. So Alcaraz, we'll talk about Alcaraz now. Alcaraz has emerged as a star that I think not many people expected really, because he came up from like what, Spain, like under 17, under 18. The guy won his first The guy's won his first championship at like what, 18, 19 years old. I think the youngest ever player to win a championship.
The youngest ever
to win a grand. Sorry?
The youngest ever
world number. Yeah. World number 1. Fair enough. I mean, there you go. I mean, you gotta give your flowers where it's due. I mean, he's an incredible talent, and he's someone that I think will be favorited by many. And I know I've not really liked him much in the past. Obviously, when he's beaten Djokovic, unfortunately. However, I give flowers where it's due, and Carlos Alcaraz has done his job. He's done his due diligence, and now he's 5 Grand Slams now? I think almost 4 or 5 Grand Slams now at a very young age. Crazy to think about. Crazy. He's such a talent, man. Obviously, Djokovic has a lot of respect for him, and I have a lot of respect for him too now. I've gained more respect for him as I go on, because there's a certain somebody that I won't want to mention, but you know what he's doing behind the scenes. So we'll definitely keep it personal. But yeah. So when it's him versus Alcaraz, I'll root for Alcaraz. So yeah, Alcaraz is luck of the draw is kind of favorite. It's the side of the draw that you know what it is. I think it's kind of criminal that you have the side of the draw, because you know what it is. It's not that I don't like the side of the draw. I think it's just it's more of can we have equal levels? So like, all the good players are on one side, and then one player just has a really easy run to the final. So what I want is just like someone that can obviously he has Medvedev on his side, Sinner has Medvedev on his side, but like the other side is like where everyone's like the best players are. Like most of the best players are on the other side of the draw, and I want it to be like evened out, so it can be equal competition. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But talk me through Jannik Sinner's draw.
Yeah, to add, I agree with you. I think this draw is like West versus East in the NBA. That's what it is like in a way, right? Where the East, look, maybe last season's West versus East. The East had Boston, that was it. Boston versus the rest. And the West had the stacked West with the Mavs coming out of the bloodbath. So, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I hope that doesn't end up...
Thank you for bringing that up, by the way. That brought a smile to my face.
I had to. It was the best analogy possible, Ekobin, even though I had to stab myself in the back doing so. But, no, I mean, I hope...
Dallas will be back. Don't worry about it. Dallas will be back.
But I hope that analogy has a different twist this time. I hope Sinner isn't Boston. I hope Djokovic is the Boston that wins it. It's just a personal note for me, and you too, Ekobin. But no, talk about the draw specifically. Yeah, I think it is a very disproportionate draw. But just to point out really quickly, I feel like Djokovic has had a lot of very favorable draws throughout his career, particularly in the 2020s. And take nothing away, you've seen the glaze session that both of us have had for Djokovic. We have both been ultra complimentary of him. So he is the greatest of all time, no doubt about that. But yeah, there is again, I'm not going to criticize tennis, the ATP, the ITF, or whichever federation of manipulating or perhaps rigging the events of the draw. But some of these draws are very disproportionate. So I don't know. I'm not saying a system change or whatever, but there does needs to be some change because I think we all expect Sinner to make the final, and take nothing away from Sinner as well. You have to have the composure to consolidate, hold your serve, and make the final. But yeah, it's a cakewalk draw for him. Whereas Carlos Alcaraz, going back to your question, who you just mentioned, Ekavin, yeah, he is a 4-time Grand Slam winner at the very young age of 21, which is extraordinary. And by the way, Ekavin, if he wins the Australian Open, it would mean he's won every Grand Slam possible. He would become the youngest man to win all 4 Grand Slams. So he's making his way to be among the Pantheon, Mount Rushmore, dare I say it, one of the best in tennis history. So yeah, Carlos Alcaraz, look, he is also, let me add, I think if there is anyone likely to beat Jannik Sinner at this Grand Slam, I'm going to pick Carlos Alcaraz. Because Carlos Alcaraz has been a thorn in Sinner's side across the years. Even though Jannik Sinner is world number 1, if I am not mistaken, Carlos Alcaraz has a better head-to-head against Sinner when Sinner has been world number 1. And Carlos Alcaraz did beat Jannik Sinner at Wimbledon as well. Carlos Alcaraz did beat Jannik Sinner at the French Open this past year. So, again, I think if anyone's going to beat Jannik Sinner, it's Carlos Alcaraz. The problem for Alcaraz has been fitness. It's been conditioning. Yeah. So if he can sort that out, I have no doubt that Carlos Alcaraz can be a threat in his side. But again,
because obviously the injury, he had the injury 2 years ago. It might affect him in the long run because obviously with injuries nowadays with players, it kind of affects them a lot. And hopefully Alcaraz, he's a very talented prospect, and I don't want him to go through these injuries that he's going through right now. But sorry, go on, continue what you're saying, bro.
Exactly. Ekman, I completely agree with you. That's one of the reasons we have to look out for Alcaraz, where I think if he was 100% fit, which I hope he is heading into this tournament, but you never know with the injuries he's had.
Yeah.
But no, again, so I think, if I had to pick one player who would beat Sinner, one player to beat the world number 1, your favorite player, Ekavin Jannik Sinner, right? The guy that you've loved everything that Sinner has done, your favorite player.
We will speak about Jannik. Actually, no, we will speak about Jannik.
We have to. Because we have different opinions on this one. So
different opinions, but it's something that I have to get off my chest because it's something that I'm fuming about. But go on.
Exactly, and that Jannik Sinner may or may not have been the player Ekavin was talking about a few minutes ago when it came to resentment and a little bit of distaste. So yeah, if one player is going to be Jannik Sinner, to me it's Alcaraz. Head-to-head, matchup, styles, it all favors Alcaraz, regardless of the surface. So look, when it comes to Alcaraz's draw, he's going to have to go, can I say vintage Alcaraz, Ekavin? Or is he too young? He's 20.
I mean, vintage Alcaraz, he's still vintage Alcaraz right now. He's still doing the vintage thing, but go on, bro.
So yeah, I mean, look, he has to go peak Alcaraz. And if it would be very good if Alcaraz could win because it would be history. And he would cement himself as one of the greatest players of all time, I think. And that's a big statement, again. But the fact is, to win 5 slams and every single slam at the age of 21, something Nole, Roger, Rafa couldn't do, you got to say Alcaraz is one of the best ever if he wins the AO this time. So I don't think he'll do it, but you can never rule him out. He's definitely a top 3 candidate.
Yeah, you can't rule him out, surely.
Yeah, because he has very little to no flaws in this game.
100%. I agree with you, bro, completely. It's just now whether he can weather the storm of having to be fit, having to be consistent, go under the pressure that he's been on, because obviously the media, as he gets older, the pressure will be more on him. There'll be more pressure for him to win because at the moment he's young right now. There's not much pressure for him compared to what he will be when he gets older, because how the media is overhyping of players. Sooner or later they're gonna put him in the superstar bracket, so the hype will be real by then. So we'll definitely we'll definitely have to look out for that, and we'll definitely get through it, bro. I mean, it's something that I wish Alcaraz all the best because he's a young prodigy. And we don't want any of our players, and we don't want any players in the future that's coming out getting injured.
Yes, I agree.
We don't anyone going through injuries like how Andy Murray went through, because Andy Murray was that player, bro, that was just winning constantly, and then he was gonna be that fourth player, and then unfortunately the injuries just piled up, and then ever since he's not been the same, and he had to retire. Unfortunately, we saw with Dominic Thiem. Dominic Thiem was another rising star. Was someone that was on the up, was going up the ranks. You and I had a lot of you and I was talking a lot in private chat about Dominic Thiem as a player, and who he is, and what happened to him. What happens to him ever since? It's just been sad. I don't know. It's just been sad because Dominic Thiem was one of those players that we all thought he was going to be that number one. He's going to be that next player to replace Djokovic. He looked a bit like Federer when he was playing the serve, the backhand, everything.
One-handed back.
Reminded me of a young Roger, didn't he? And then unfortunately, the injuries piled up. So the hype needs to be wary of hype. Needs to be wary of injuries, fitness, and just keep doing what he's doing. Because I like Alcaraz, and I reckon he'll definitely be, world number one, like on a consistent level, like competing with Jannik sitting at the top. And I think it's a new rivalry that will not be spoken about much in tennis, because they'll still talk about Novak, Rafa, and Roger. They won't talk about Sinner versus Alcaraz yet, but we'll see in the future. Moving on to Jannik Sinner. Obviously, you and I have had debates over Jannik Sinner the past year. Obviously, of what he's done. I don't know if I should mention it on stream or not, but I'll just say something that he's done behind the scenes. I don't condone. I don't agree with. I don't think that it should be. It should be allowed in tennis, even if it's not performance enhancing. It's still not. It's still not right. I'm sorry. I don't think you should. Iga Swiatek got away with it. Well, she didn't get away with it, but she got her suspension. She served it and she came back. No pun intended. But yeah.
Okay, you know what? I think the statement at the beginning of the episode was the best.
Sorry.
Come on, like I said this so many times today. I said this in the last NFL stream. AN Sports, authentic analysis. Which show do you get this? The breaks for humor.
It's not even that funny, but the part when I said no pun intended, bro. I don't think you said it as well, right? You just said it as well, like not on the same stream. Like she served it. He served it. Right, bro. We're talking about tennis here.
Yeah, that was
so bad.
Good. Ekman, those were a good set of puns.
Oh yeah, they were a good set. But it'll go to a tiebreaker, won't it?
The puns or what?
No, all the puns will go to a tiebreaker to see who wins.
Yeah. Exactly, man. We should keep a score. 1-1.
This is class. I can't lie.
I'm gonna give myself 2-1 for the set pun.
I give you the credit. But getting back to it, I think you served your suspension. No, I intended this one.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, that was too quick. I give it. Bro, how serve?
You continue. Sorry, I can't do this. This is too much.
I return back to you. 3-2.
So she served her suspension. Oh my days, this is too much, bro. I'm sorry. Fuck.
That's legendary.
I don't know what other word to use.
She held her suspension.
I don't know what the word to use. She got the suspension that she warranted, and fair enough. I mean, she got it. The suspension. 1 month, was it like 1-2 month suspension? I think, and she was out for 2 months.
Yes. So
that's what I'm saying. That any player that does, it's not performance enhancing drugs. It's just like even if you take it or a substance, it's just not right. I'm sorry. I don't think it's right to get away with things like this. I'm sorry. I just don't think it is. But what are your thoughts? Because obviously I know you and I've not really gone back and forth. But we've kind of we've kind of discussed about this, we've kind of debated about this in private chat recently. But I'll let you have your say, bro. Because
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty serious topic if you ask me. Like if you like because because Djokovic has spoken about it, Kyrgios has spoken about it. Other players have come out and spoken. Simona Halep is suspended for I don't know how long she's suspended for. Like what, 4 years? Like 3-4 years suspension?
suspended for a while.
Yeah, a long while.
She
And
was.
so yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like you get your suspension. You get the suspension that I think you warranted, because for me, even if it's not performance enhancing, it's still not right, bro. It's still not right. But go on, bro. Sorry. Just wanted to get that. I wanted to say that.
Oh, that was a very iconic moment. Very clippable moments. Right? I'm trying to think of a pun. I couldn't.
And at 2025, I'm coming back to this to this video, and I'm gonna clip every single good best moment of the stream, and I'm gonna put it into a trailer or put it into a video, and I'll make it into a video, and we'll see. But
Yeah, I think
for sure.
we cooked. I think we
For
cooked.
For sure,
We cooked
for sure.
really hard. We smashed
did.
it.
We
We
did.
smashed it out of the park.
Smashed it. Yeah, we did.
Ace, good ace.
And great, and what a great way to serve, you know.
Yeah, very good serve. Very effective. Ace. Broke the records, beat Isner and Pelka and everyone else.
It serves you right. It serves you right. But go.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree with you. No, I mean, look, Iga Swiatek's case is very specific. I haven't read into it much. I'm not sure. But when it comes to Jannik Sinner, I think, yes, I understand. There's a lot of sentiment and emotions. Emotions are running high when it comes to Jannik Sinner's case. What I will say is if you read into it in terms of what he was specifically diagnosed with and what was responsible for him being suspended, if you call it, I don't think it had any effect on his performance. No outstanding effect, no major impact, didn't uplift or undermine the state of results. I give this example a lot. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure drugs like cocaine, ecstasy, weed, all of this is banned for a professional athlete, and obviously for good reason. I don't need to explain why, but not every drug that is banned is a performance.
I like how you listen to the drugs just all like that.
Hey, look, what can I say? I'm an encyclopedia when it comes to sports drugs, right?
Oh, shit. All right.
But nothing else. But yeah, so exactly, Eggman, thank you for calling me out. Okay. We promise, by the way, neither of us are on any drugs right now. We're just coming up with these jokes quick fire. Okay, we're very sane. So yeah, anyways, I think Jannik Sinner is a tremendous tennis player. Okay, now that sounds like I'm on drugs. I'm gonna say that.
We are high on these drug jokes.
Whoopsie. We're a bit high on tennis. Yeah, we are high on tennis. I think that's what yeah, and I see our viewer count keeps increasing every time we make a joke like this, so it's working.
We're almost at 58. All of you guys smash the like button, please subscribe. We'll bring you unfiltered content like this, and the jokes will flow in. The jokes will flow in as we go. But yeah, thank you guys for the support. But make sure you guys subscribe. I left the link in the Twitter, so make sure you guys click the link and subscribe. Show us some love. Leave your comments in the chat, and we'll read it out. We'll interact with you guys. But go on, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, as I even said, there's no filter. There's no net. There's no net protecting and preventing us from saying whatever we want to say. So I mean, yeah, we just got a free area to finish the job. So I mean, yeah, look, Jannik Sinner, I don't think it had any impact on his performance. But I mean, again, if you take a drug that is illegal, it is a shame. And obviously, there's a lot of PR and politics individually around the situation. So eventually, bottom line is two things. One, I think to discredit Jannik Sinner from all the success he has achieved would be a little bit harsh, if not disingenuous, because none of the drugs or none of the illegal substances he consumed impacted his performance in any way, shape, or form. And secondly, I think transparency. I just think there needs to be transparency and also a far more fair, free, and proportionate way of testing. You can't selectively test people. You have to test people more fairly. So that's all I have to say. I just think there needs more transparency. But apart from that, look, I think take nothing away from Sinner. He is world number one for a good reason. So, yeah.
But the amount of times Djokovic has also been tested, like, I think it's almost a testament to. No, I don't. Sorry, I don't mean testament. I meant it's almost as if like it's almost as if like it's more people are thinking, oh, did he do drugs? Because he do this? Because obviously, you know, with the vaccine thing that happened in lockdown, I think people are wondering like, oh, is there a reason why he's not taking the vaccine? You know, because it was a massive thing back then, but now I think all of it's like, you know, it's almost as if like now it's kind of died down, and I think everything is more of how you can continue for me. I can't really justify it, but go on.
Yeah, I mean, I think look, with the whole vaccine issue, Djokovic just stood on principle. He prioritized principle over profit, as I said earlier in the stream. Whether right or wrong, I don't know. But again, I just think objectively, he did not spread COVID and he did not cause COVID, and he's not dead. He is in the best condition of his life. You can make the case. So he definitely made the right decision. Like objectively, he made the right decision coming from someone who was personally affected by it. So he made the right decision. And yeah, I just think you need to, just with life, you need to just abandon the politics and focus on the principle and the results. So with Jannik Sinner, just more transparency, man. We just need to hear more truth and transparency. And if we do, things will be clear. But unfortunately, we live in a very demanding environment, an environment that wants you to have controversy rather than calm and composure. So yeah, look, I think it's a shame, but hopefully now we know Sinner is definitely not on substances. And whoever, if he wins the Australian Open this time, hopefully we can all recognize that, hey, it was on merit and it was not manipulated by any external outstanding factors. So that's what I would say, Ekavin, here, though.
No, I hear it completely. Like from I don't condone what any player does behind the scenes, or you know, I don't condone what players would do to kind of performance enhance. Even if you don't think it's performance enhancing, it's still doing it while you're playing tennis, and it's not right. You still have to go with what the rules apply, and what the regulations are, and if you don't follow it, suspension is warranted. And for me, Jannik Sinner, don't know how he got away with it, but firstly, I don't think it's my place to say. I think that's for the tennis association to decide whether he should get suspended. Personally, I think he should, anyways. But I'm not gonna go too much into detail. I'm just gonna say, look, there's a lot of arguments. There's been a lot of talk about what's happening behind the scenes in tennis as of late. But yeah, it's not right for me personally. It's not right whether you abide rules, whether you don't. It's all about class and respect for the sport, because a lot of ex-players have come out and said, players in today they've not really followed the regulations and the rules, and it's not the same sport that they once loved. And I hear them completely, man. I hear them completely. And if you have ex-professionals, or you have professionals that are currently playing today and have been in the game for a very long time and have coming out with statements like this, you've only got to trust the judgment, really. They're the most experienced in the sport. They're the most experienced in this field. So you've got to kind of follow suit. And I think tennis needs more role models. Needs more role models and people to lead by example, because with young players now, you just don't know how things will change with them being around tennis. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. So things have to be, how do you call it?
More proportional, more fair.
Be more proportional. I agree with you completely. But Jannik Sinner's side of the draw. Look, he's got the run to the final. I think he'll make the final. I'm going to say that. I'm just going to say that. And move on right away.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Any more players we should talk about?
I mean, I look at the draw. I guess dark horses. You mentioned one. You have to have Nick Kyrgios, right? I mean, Nick is a mixed bag, but if he's in his peak at Melbourne Arena, not at Rod Laver Arena, but the second arena, he is or any of the courts. One,
I think
whatever it is.
I think Melbourne Park. I'm not sure what it's called, but
Melbourne Park. Sorry. Yeah, they call Melbourne.
I think so.
Exactly. So Nick Kyrgios is one to look out for. And yeah, I guess it's just that. I think it's just the three favorites. Nole, Sinner, and Alcaraz. Those are the three heavy favorites. Everybody else.
Medvedev, Zverev.
I would include them in the tier below because
Right.
I just think those three have established themselves consistently across surfaces.
Casper Ruud, maybe you've got Zverev, you've got Medvedev. Medvedev, like I said, we have to pick up. He's playing a Thai player, so hopefully the Thai player, does well. Obviously, a fellow countryman of ours. We need to wish them all the best, and hopefully, they do something. But obviously, Medvedev, I think for me, will get to the quarterfinals comfortably. Unfortunately, for the Thai player, but I hope the Thai player wins. We'll see. I hope he does win. You hope he wins as well, don't you?
Yeah, obviously. I hope he breaks. He breaks the trend of Thai players not being able to make ground in this tournament. No, 4-2. I think Ekman 4-2.
Tie break.
Exactly. 4-2. I'm up 4-2 in this game of puns. Come on.
Tennis is full of puns, man. I swear to God. Like, you can use those tennis words like, bro, like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I saw a reel the other day. They were talking about like F1 language, like retirement. They were talking about like box. I was like, oh, that's crazy. I'll send you the reel. It's crazy, but we'll talk about that later.
You love to use that, right?
What we're doing is pretty much we're doing that, but it's just in tennis puns. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think Medvedev has a run to the quarterfinals. I think Casper Ruud has a shout as well. Zverev, dark horse, but he'll get there. Maybe quarterfinals, possibly. We'll see. The players I listed, all the 6 players, I think will get to the quarterfinals, possibly. Unless Djokovic plays one of them in early rounds. I can't remember who he plays. I think he plays Casper Ruud Zverev in the early rounds.
No, I think he plays them semis because Djoko is 7th seed, which is crazy. He's a 7th seed. That's crazy.
Fair enough. So, obviously, let's just give our predictions for the opening games, and we'll just wrap it up. We'll go with the big players, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or players that we know. Casper Ruud versus Jaume Munar. What's his name? Or I don't know how you pronounce his name. Apologies for that.
Yeah, I think you have to predict the seeds.
I think Casper Ruud in 3 or 4 sets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the draw. I don't think the top seeds will lose early on. There are not many tough games or matches. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just looking.
Oh, there's Tsitsipas as well. Don't forget Tsitsipas.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah, he just never managed to peak. I think after he lost to Djokovic, was it the French Open? French Open final. It was up 2 sets to love.
No, they met again in the Australian Open final 2 years ago.
Yeah, but it was really the French Open final, I think, because Tsitsipas is more of a clay court.
I think it was Casper Ruud that met Djokovic.
No. Djokovic and Tsitsipas played. Tsitsipas was up 2 sets to love.
That was that was 2021.
Yeah, and I think that just broke him mentally.
Maybe, but then they met again in the Wimbledon, and they met again in the Australian Open final a year or 2 later. So yeah.
Exactly, but he didn't win.
So I think Tsitsipas wins this in 4 sets. Excuse me, not 5. 4 sets.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much of his opponent. I can't pretend that I watched him much, if at all. But yeah, I'm sure he'll drop a set. So Tsitsipas in 4.
Lorenzo Musetti, I don't really want to predict that. Let's just go with hold on.
I mean, Ekman, there's only one match I see that's the most interesting among the rest. It is Berrettini versus Cameron Norrie.
Oh, okay. Let's predict that one then.
Now, a few years ago, this would be a top 10 match in the first round.
Who do you think? Berrettini in 5.
Berrettini in 5, Ekman.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I'll go the distance. For contrarian's sake, I'll go with Cam Norrie because Berrettini's not in the best form.
Fair enough. Let's go with City Pass versus Mikkelsen, where he went City Pass. What's the next game? Sinner versus Jerry. Nicholas Jerry.
Yeah, and Sinner's gonna win.
Sinner in 3.
Simple as that. Yeah, he is the man to beat.
Karen Konchanov. We need to predict that one.
I think we know. Like, I think more active. Maybe we should say: is there anybody who we believe won't do as well as they should? I think that's how we should.
I don't really have much to say about that, to be honest. I think David Goffin. I know him. Felix Auger Aliassime, I think we know him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Alcaraz against Shevchenko. I'm gonna go with Alcaraz in 3 or 4 sets, really easily.
Yeah, for sure. Run riot, comfortable.
We'll welcome back Nick Kyrgios with a prediction. Kyrgios in 4 against Jacob Fernley, excuse me.
Straight sets. Come on, Nick.
And then Djokovic in straights versus Nishesh. That's already the Indian American 19-year-old.
The debut of Murray Djokovic at a Grand Slam. So for their debut, I'll have Djoko in straights as well.
Yeah, fair enough.
I agree.
Let's go through more predictions. Oh, Medvedev against Samridge. Oh yeah, Samridge. That's the Thai guy.
Look, this will be.
Let's give the Thai man a set, and we'll give it 4 to Medvedev.
This will be the Thai guys. I can't pronounce his name, so I'll call him the Thai. This will be his first ever match at a Grand Slam ever.
Some late.
This will be his first ever match at a major ever. So it's a big moment, the biggest moment for him ever. I'm just tempted for the sake of it. I'm going to be so sentimental. And this is like completely antithetical to what I usually say. Let's go Medvedev in 5. It'll go 5. Maybe nice. Some net in 5. But knowing realistically Medvedev's going to win and he'll drop like 4 games. 5 games.
That's Herbert Hurkacz, Borna Coric, Andrei Rublev. Let's go with there is Wawrinka, Sonego. That's not too bad of a game. Dusan Lajovic. Yeah, there's good games. Taylor Fritz is there too. He lost the U.S. Open final to
Jannik.
Jannik Sinner. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But I think that's all we have for today. I think we're gonna wrap it up here. It's been a really good show, man. People, thank you guys for watching. 52 of you watching. Make sure you guys click the link and subscribe. I've shared it in a Twitter quote, so make sure you guys do that. Leave your comments in. Make sure you like the stream, and obviously keep subscribing. I would love to reach the 200 subs soon. Keep subbing. Yeah, 200 subs is the goal soon. I've already passed 100 subs. Now the goal is to get to 200 before March. That'd be nice. So yeah. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for watching. Augustia, thank you for coming on, bro. And it's been a really good talk. I know it's quite late over here, but it's been good fun. And tennis and the Australia Open begins in a few hours. Actually, the NFL already started, but go on, bro. Sorry.
No. I agree. I think one of the best streams on AN Sports for sure. A lot to talk about. A lot of points to delve into, right, Akivin?
Yeah, a lot of points too.
Right? Yeah. No. 6-3 match point to me. But no, yeah. It's a good stream.
I mean, that is set 1, to be fair, but go on.
Okay, yeah, we can do sets. Fine. We can do it in sets. We can figure it out.
You're doing tiebreaker. Because we are both tie, aren't we?
Yeah, hopefully after I get match point, I'll be like, deuces. I'm out. Get it? No.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I think yeah, we have like a lot of
I-
viewers.
I think the viewers have had enough.
Yeah, I feel like they're not gonna want to hear from us again if we continue. So
Oh yeah, they're probably not.
they're like, damn, why are these
Come on.
two delivering puns after puns after puns? So anyways, yeah, it's been a good stream. Loved it. And hopefully, actually, wait, Ekevin, we didn't actually ever officially give our prediction for who we think will win the tournament.
I think we'll do that per round if you want to do
No,
round
I mean
per.
before the tournament, we have to pick a winner, right? So I have Djokovic winning. I have Djokovic beating Sinner in the final. Yeah,
Same. I'm
cool.
backing my guy Djokovic. Obviously, I'm always gonna back him. Always
Sure.
gonna back. So yeah, Djokovic to win the whole thing. What are you saying? Djokovic as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Continue what you're saying as well, bro. Sorry, I just wanted to.
I've said everything I have to say in the stream here, and I'll see you soon as well for another stream.
100%. And we'll review these games as we go on as well. We'll constantly do streams as we go on. We'll do a straight up review. We might do a final preview. We might do everything we can to get the show going. It's actually getting quite a few views as well. So gotta lie, I think this is a good show. I think I had a good time as well. So yeah, appreciate you guys all watching. Make sure you guys, like I said, like and subscribe. I know you 54 of you watching. 54 people of you watching. You can easily click the link and subscribe right now. I'm almost at 110 again. I was at 110, but I went back to 109. So make sure you guys click that to get back to 110. Yeah, get me to 200. Yeah, a legendary stream. Of course, another legendary stream with all the puns and everything. So make sure you guys watch it back if you haven't already. Make sure you guys, show us some love in the chat, and I'll definitely be reading the comments and I'll respond. So yeah. That's all for today. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Peace. Have a good evening. Idemo nole.
Game, set, match, another stream, done.
Cheers. Peace.